In the dry and sterile land of the Umbral Valley, Lion Algrim stood with his nieces Pele and Shiva, having finished another session of training at the request of their mother and his sister. Pele's power over her lava has increased dramatically, as well as Shiva's power over snow due to the tutelage of their legendary war hero of an uncle. The Umbral Valley was a perfect place for Lion to train his nieces. Wide, open land, legions of Tiham that spawned from the Ichor, and no other Darkin huntsman or huntress who could get hurt, as they always cleared out when Lion came, but not out of respect. You all have made some outstanding progress, but it's time for you two to return to your moms. He hugged his nieces and opened a portal that they walked through. Lion prepared to leave but felt a tug on his leg. He looked down to see a small girl looked no older than 11. She was pale, her hair was short, black and ragged. She looked malnourished like many people in this land. Her clothes were gray and tattered. She looked up. Her skin went white as she saw the dispassionate silvery eyes of the destroyer god. She ran, though her weak body didn't get her far, as she tripped and fell down a hill. The surge of fear upon seeing his face, the pain of tumbling down the hill, and breaking her leg and ribs upon impact, generated enough negativity to attract a large Tiham called a dread. The dread gazed at the girl, a fleck of dirt compared to it in size, and licked its teeth at the sight of its next meal. The demon, the pain, the fear was too much for the girl as she slid in and out of unconsciousness before the monsters could attack. A flash of light appeared before she faded away. She was out for only moments as she began to feel a soothing sensation throughout her body. Her legs fastened back into place, her ribs connected and mended. Her eyes began to open as glimpses of green light washed over her. She fully opened her eyes and saw Lion kneeling over her. Her head was propped up on a rock as he healed her body. She said nothing, petrified at the sight of him. "Stay still, child. I'm almost done." Once her leg was healed, she quickly moved away from him, balled up black dirt in her hands and tossed it, but she kept missing. Each clump of poisoned soil just got suspended in an orbit around him. "Don't come near me, destroyer. Apologies, you were about to be killed by that thing, so I decided to lend a hand. I have a few hours before I have to get back home." She stood up, her fist balled up, as her face had hatred written on every inch of it. "Don't act like a good guy. We know who you are, what you've done, the people you slaughtered, the families you've torn apart. Now you get godlike power, become a sovereign, get a clean slate, while us Darkin are left to pick up the pieces. The world is truly unfair." Lion sighed. The girl's words tinged with hatred but bore some truth. "I'm sorry for everything that your people have gone through, but it simply isn't as simple as a demigod mass murdering for the fun of it. Someone like that wouldn't be king of Gardenia, husband of Astria, or the man who saved you from that dread, as well as healed your wounds." She said nothing and turned away from him. "The Umbral Valley is deadly. It's absolutely no place for a child. Why come out here, child?" She turned and snapped. "My name isn't Child, it's Magnolia. I know I shouldn't be out here, but my dad and his team have been lost for days on a mission. I scoured the valley wondering why none of my people were here to ask. Now I know why. I can see why no Darkin would be out here. What kind of mission was it?" "It was a hunt for a Tiham, a glaive tail. Mom said it has existed too long and if left unchecked would destroy us. She never came back. Now Dad feels the need to kill it since Morrigan claimed it wasn't a threat. Wish I had a sacrificing mother. I'm sorry for your loss. Seems like your father is not long for this world without aid. Since you can't get other huntsmen, it falls to me." Lion conjured a stasis field that caught Magnolia and made her float alongside him. Her head darted around frantically. The sudden ascension and lack of ground underneath made her hyperventilate and grasp her chest as her heart began to palpitate. "I didn't agree to this. Don't you dare." Her voice got weak, her heart began to slow down, but a wave struck her and her anxiety vanished. Her heart began pumping as normal. "Apologies. I had to use a pathic wave to calm your heart and your emotions. I know you don't want my help. Hell, I doubt any Darkin wants to see my face, but you don't have the luxury of being picky. I'm your best chance at getting your father back alive." She crossed her arms and rolled her eyes. "Fine." Lion and Magnolia bolted into the sky as she was carried by stellar flames at his feet. The two surged through the darkened skies silent as the girl gazed down at the blackened earth below. So what's the situation? Humph. You said that the situation was more complex than a demigod mass murdering for no reason other than enjoyment. What was the reason? Well, Magnolia, imagine a power beyond reality puppeting your body like its own personal vessel. This power is a piece of an even higher power and is fundamentally unstable, focusing itself to become stable again and burning darkness in the process. It gave me power, burnt everything, but eventually gave me the power to make things right as I can finally be the king I want to be. So what, you were forced to be our enemy? The only thing that I didn't want to do was to burn down that city. My behavior during every other battle before then was of my own volition, since your government was responsible for my kin being locked up and tortured if I didn't burn people for them. Soldiers and huntsmen sign up for their roles, choose to be a pawn for the dynasty. So I feel no guilt for burning them to ash, but it will always eat me up knowing I couldn't stop Stellaris from destroying Plegia. Doesn't make me feel any better. I doubt any explanation would make you feel better. Just like how this place will always have some bad memories for me, but I have so much more to think about now. New responsibilities, new relationships. It's in my best interest to move on. Scars may never go away, but we can ensure they fade into something so small they're invisible. So what, our people die, our cities burn down, and we're supposed to just let it all go? No, well, not all at once, it'll take some time. The old me wouldn't have aided you or cared about your father's situation. But now I'm committed to peace between our kind and fixing your poisoned land. Humph, well, we're here, she said as the pair stopped, suspended in the sky as numerous Tiham in the shape of large bats, each the size of a house, swarmed the mountain range. This'll be child's play. His silvery eyes glistened and expelled a burst of silvery celestial light. The swarm was engulfed and petrified in the blast that made them fall to the mountain face and shatter. Powerful eyes, said Magnolia. Yeah, my son has the same eyes as well. The pair slowly descended down to the mountain. The cold air carried the waft of rot. The dark stone was slick with gore, dried blood, dismembered limbs, corpses and weapons littered the lands. Lion crossed his arms as he shook his head while Magnolia covered her eyes. Poor guys. Oh no, I don't want to see this, said Magnolia. Don't worry, you won't have to. Lion spoke an incantation and produced glistening prismatic lights that masked the scent of death, and any of the dead are masked from sight. Magnolia looked around and sighed. Is there anything you can't do? Conjure ice. She rolled her eyes and noticed another body laid out and instantly turned her head. Guess your illusions aren't perfect. Lion looked in the same direction and approached him. His lower body completely severed and arm gone. I thought I masked all of the dead. He noticed that the body was still alive, albeit barely, as his chest slowly rose and fell. He kneeled down to the man, hovered his hands over him, washed positive energy over his body. His lower body reconnected. His arm grew back, his breathing slowly returned. The man sprung up, his eyes wide opened. What happened? Relax, sir. You were in a beyond critical condition. I healed you completely, but you're still super low on fluids. He turned and noticed that it was Lion and instantly got up, reached down for his gun and aimed it at him. Get away from me. You piece of shit. Frank, it's fine, really. Maggie, why are you out here? Do you know what he did? He has no right to step foot here. He snarled, his body began to shake, he fell to his knees. He decided to help me get Dad back after it's been days since you all left. I know you don't like him, I don't either, but we need him to get Dad. Lion conjured an array of fruits and handed it to the pair. Here, you need to build up energy. Frank fired his gun, but the bullets were simply suspended around him. Have I ever told you the definition of insanity? Fuck you. I don't want anything from you. A roar erupted in the distance. The glaive tail's head poked up from the stone spikes. Its red eyes glowed at the sight of new prey. The demon inflated its chest and let loose a powerful scream. The mountains in front of it shattered and burst forth towards the trio. The volley of rocks was captured by Lion's gravitic field. Large rock after large rock was suspended in the air. Their velocity halted and air waves brushed past him. The volley stopped. Hundreds of rocks orbited Lion as the glaive tail walked through the shattered mountain. Its body like a tyrannosaurus, its tail covered in a sharp silvery blade, across its body numerous red diamond-hard cores. Damn, it's been a while since I fought something like that. Lion winded his left shoulder. The glaive tail slowly walked towards the trio. Lion took a deep breath and silvery light flowed from his eyes like twin flames. The glaive tail stammered at the sight of the primordial light. Lion let the rocks go and walked towards the demon. Good work. You've loosed a lot of usable material for the Darkin. Sadly, you're too dangerous to keep around. The demon swung its tail. The impact kicked up wind and dust. However, as the dust settled, the glaive tail's bladed tail was caught in Lion's hand. He stared up at the demon and unleashed a flash of silver light that engulfed the glaive tail. Once the light ended, the demon was stone and swiftly crumbled to pieces. Lion's eyes dimmed down to normal, and he floated back to the others. The demon has been felled. Thank you, Magnolia said. Humph, said Frank. I know, Franklin, you don't have to say it. Now I'm going to go get this girl's dad. Try and keep your negativity to a minimum. I won't be around to kill any more threats. He said nothing as Lion morphed into wisps of flames to slip into the mountain cracks. He reformed in a dark chamber where he noticed the familiar scent of blood and decay. Through the darkness he saw 3 bodies, one of them barely clinging to life with a spear in his stomach. Lion pulled the blade from the man's belly and washed him in healing energy. What the? Destroyer. What did I do to deserve this? You got a little girl worried sick about her dad. Magnolia, he shouted as he sprung up. What did you do? Did you bring her out here? She found me in the valley because her only guardian left her alone. I simply couldn't leave a child in those lands, so I decided to help. Now do you mind explaining why you had a spear in your gut? Well, when Derek and I came down here to avoid that demon, we found a large deposit of diamonds. A fight broke out between us. He stabbed me in the stomach and I had to put him down. Lion looked to the left and right and saw none of his wife's ravens around. Tell you what, I can bring back Derek, but don't tell my wife. If she finds out I messed with life and death again, I'm looking at a 3-day dry spell. A man like me can't afford that. Oh, you can do that. Of course I can bring back the dead. Lion placed a hand on Derek's head. His body began to glow as he spoke numerous eldritch incantations. Green energy suffused into his body. His chest began to rise and fall as his soul returned. Lion's body dimmed as he stood up. All right, your friend is alive, he just needs to adjust. Thank you, he sighed. Something wrong. Should I have let him spend eternity in the blazing abyss? He was in hell. Lion chuckled and waved it off. I'm just kidding. I don't know for sure if he got there. The Darkin rolled his eyes and sighed. Good, you can joke about eternal damnation. I have to worry about being a single father. Seems like those gems would be worth a few thousand gold pieces, but I'll do you one better. How can you create things from nothing? Well, not from nothing, but that's not what I'm talking about. Lion reached into his bag and pulled out a small orange shard. Since your daughter can't handle the slightest ounce of stress without stopping her heart like a rabbit, take this shard of ambrosia. A while ago I suffered a major injury and Astrea scoured heaven for this fruit. Now give the last shard to your daughter. The father's eyes widened at the sight of the fruit shard and swiftly placed it in his bag. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Don't mention it. Lion reached to a hilt on his belt and pulled out a glistening silver sword, the blade bearing fey sigils and the edges encrusted with gemstones. This claymore served me well during my time in Avier, but I've long since outgrown it. Sell it. You'll be set for life, and your daughter needs her dad, not someone who's going to end up missing for days. The father grabbed his chest as he stared at the blade. Are you serious? Come on, let's get out of here. Lion and the father Marcus walked out of the cavern, with Derek on Lion's back. As the family was reunited, Lion clasped his hands and made them teleport back to their home city, while Lion found a white raven perched on stone. Hey Snow Angel, he flirted. You know when Pele and Shiva came back but you didn't and reports of a battle in the mountains came in, I feared the worst. It seems like you kept your word about being good to the Darkin. You wound me, Sugar Snow. You know I'm a man of my word. I know, dear. Come on back. Maineth and Zanza are proving difficult. Alright, I'll come back, but you should spend time with those two more. They're going to think Shulk is your favorite.